All right. If you've spent any time fixing computers, you know this one, the no internet secured error. It's one of the most common ghosts in the machine. You're connected, you've got full bars, but you are going absolutely nowhere. So today, we're going to open up the Technician's Toolkit and walk through a real professional-grade fix, from the simple stuff all the way to a full network rebuild, just like a pro would handle it.
Yeah, this is the message that just brings everything to a grinding halt. You see your Wi-Fi network, your computer insists you're connected and totally secured, but the second you open a web browser, crickets. It's a classic case of your device being on the local playground, but not being able to find the gate to the rest of the world. So you've already done the universal first step, right? You've turned it off and on again, but the problem is still there. Well, that's a big clue. It tells us the issue probably isn't with your router or your internet service. Nope, the problem is almost certainly living right inside your Windows machine. So let's get past the basics and use the tools a real tech would use to hunt this thing down. Okay, before we get our hands dirty in the command prompt, any good technician is going to check the low-hanging fruit first. We're talking about simple configuration problems that can cause a world of hurt. Things like a confused network adapter, a bad proxy setting, or an old VPN profile that's gumming up the works. These 3 checks are your first line of defense. First, just disabling and re-enabling the adapter. It's like a mini reboot just for your Wi-Fi hardware. Next, we check for a manual proxy to make sure your internet traffic isn't being sent to a dead end. And finally, getting rid of old VPNs cleans out outdated rules that might be blocking your connection. You'd be surprised how often one of these simple clicks fixes the whole thing.
All right, so the easy stuff didn't work. Time to open up our main tool, the command prompt. Now listen, this is important. You have to run it as an administrator or these commands just won't work. We're going to start with the ipconfig suite of commands to basically give your computer a new identity on the network. First step, ipconfig/release. This is a really simple but powerful command. You're basically sending a message to your router that says, hey, I'm officially letting go of the IP address you gave me. It's kind of like hanging up a phone call before dialing again, just to make sure you get a clean break. And you guessed it, right after we release, we run this, ipconfig/renew. This sends out a brand new request to the router asking for a fresh IP address. If the problem was an IP conflict, where 2 devices were trying to use the same address, this process almost always fixes it by getting you a new, unique one. Now, before we call this step done, there's one more crucial cleanup command in this sequence, ipconfig/flushdns. This one tells your computer to completely forget all the website addresses it has stored in its short-term memory, which can often get outdated or just plain wrong. So what is the DNS cache? Well, think of it like your computer's personal address book for the entire internet. When you type in a website, it checks the book first. But what if the address in that book is old or corrupted? You'll never get to where you want to go. Flushing the DNS is like throwing out that entire messy address book and forcing your PC to get a brand new, updated one. It's an absolutely critical step. Okay, if giving your computer a new address didn't solve it, we have to escalate. We're moving on from just fixing your address to basically performing major surgery. We're going to rebuild the very foundation of how your computer's software talks to the internet. And for that, we use the powerful net shell or network shell commands. Our first tool for this surgery is netsh winsock reset. Now, winsock is basically the digital post office inside your computer that directs all your internet traffic. If the rules and catalogs in that post office get corrupted, well, your data packets get lost. This command rebuilds that entire catalog from scratch, fixing corruption at the deepest application level. Right after that, we run netsh int IP reset. This one goes even deeper. It rewrites the log files for the TCP IP protocol stack itself. That's the fundamental rulebook for all internet communication. Now, after you run these 2 commands, you absolutely must restart your computer. It is not optional. The changes simply won't stick until you do. So, if rebuilding the entire software stack didn't do the trick, the problem might be with the driver. That's the specific piece of software that lets Windows actually talk to your physical network card. To fix that, we're heading over to the Device Manager. Now, when you right-click your network adapter and hit Uninstall Device, you get a really important choice. If you just click Uninstall, Windows will reinstall the same driver files, which is great for fixing a simple configuration glitch. But, and this is key, if you check that little box to delete the driver's software, you're telling Windows you think the driver file itself is damaged. This forces it to go find a fresh, clean copy, which is a much, much more powerful fix. All right, we've tried everything else, and we're still staring at that dreaded error message. It is time to bring out the biggest hammer in the entire toolkit, This is the complete network overhaul. This effectively returns every single network setting on your computer back to its factory default. And we've got two ways to do it: the hardcore command line way and the friendly button-click way in settings. This is the technician's final ultimate command, netconfig-d. Let me tell you, this command is no joke. It's incredibly powerful. It doesn't just reset things, it completely uninstalls every network adapter, every protocol, every service on your machine. When you restart, Windows has to rebuild its entire networking world from the ground up. A restart after running this is absolutely mandatory. Now, for those of you who aren't huge fans of the command line, don't worry. Windows gives you the exact same power with a simple button. Following these steps in the Settings app will accomplish the same fundamental thing as that netconfig-d command. It triggers a complete wipe and reinstallation of all your network components when your PC restarts. And this slide right here really drives home the most important point. A network reset is so much more powerful than just restarting your router. Restarting your router just clears some temporary memory on an external box. A network reset on your PC is like performing open-heart surgery, completely rebuilding your computer's networking foundation from scratch. So, after all that, let's do a quick recap, because you now have a complete, professional-level troubleshooting toolkit to solve even the most stubborn network problems, all right from your own keyboard. You see, you have a logical game plan now. You start with the simple GUI checks. If that fails, you move to refreshing your network address. Still no good? Escalate to rebuilding the software stack. Then you can target the driver directly. And finally, if all else fails, you go for the full system reset. It's all about applying the right tool for the job. Look, by understanding not just what to type, but why each of these commands works, you've moved past just following a guide. You're now equipped with the actual knowledge to diagnose and solve future tech problems with real confidence. You've basically got the keys to the kingdom.